Next we will look at the assistant toolbar, so I'll just move the DataRocket back again and drag down the assistant. Now the assistant is virtually the drawing side of things. Now as much as there also was some drawing tools, some of the items here, generally the tools for drawing roofs and other items are listed in the assistant. I'll just put that back over here on the right and we'll roll out the different tools. So the first one is the framing tools, which we actually used on this drawing here on the right. So if you've got an outline of something, you can do the rectangles and then draw the hips in and then draw the gables. If you're tracing over the top of things, you would generally use the draw properties and then go to one of the standard line drawing tools. And then once you've drawn over the top, which we'll be using in a later exercise or tracing, we've got the rafter commands. The jack rafters, which is the first one to use. Then the hip and valley rafters, which you would use second, especially around gables. Parallel, which we would use for ridges. We'd also use this for for rafters, not ridges. We'd also use this for ceiling joists, for bearers, for floor joists, etc. And build a gable based on the hips and valleys, puts in all your gable timbers. Beams. Now the beam command and the item command are two commands where you've got to watch your settings in the draw settings. So I'll quickly do that. So we've got beam, which draws items and puts their values in. We've got wall plates, which just draws wall plates in, no values are added. And we've got items, which adds the values. So if you had an item, say for struts, what you wouldn't have for a strut in the setup is anything in this area here, especially auto. So we don't put the length, the area, the pitch, or anything in. You could use totals if you want to, but these aren't inserted because they are taken care of in the command. And other commands which are the same as this are the beam command, which also adds values, and the eave sheets and multiple sheets commands. Both of these add the values when they insert the items onto your drawing. Here we have the underpurlins, then we have collar ties and valleys. Now the valley command is very useful. This draws a single line both sides, so it's adding two lines either side of a chosen item. Now in this case we're saying we're using it for a valley, but you could use it for valley boards, for roof purlins, for skirting, any item where you're adding another item either side of it. Scotching boards would be another example. Then we have trimmers, which we use for just doing the eaves trimmers, but once again this could be quite useful for adding all sorts of items which have got to be drawn along another single line. Eave sheets, this will create your eave sheets, and sheets command. Now with both of these you could use these for not only eave sheets but floor sheets or any item which required sheeting to go in. Maybe not for gyprock ceilings, because with ceilings you would probably just take off the area, but for any other items where you buy boards, these would be ideal. Now this is the roof purlins or roof battens. The terminology does change, and the reason we've got terms which you might think are a bit different on these is that this program has been around for a while, so I've always kept the terms the same, and it's up to the individual user to work out that just because something's called battens or purlins doesn't make any difference. The command still does the same thing. That's virtually the end of the drawing commands. This roof dimensions, this puts the roof dimensions in. This stamp just puts a stamp on the drawing. This is an old command way back from the DataRocket program, and some people requested that it was left in, but generally you won't need this. And finally, again, we have the export file, and there's a blue export. The red one is the one to use. The blue one is a very old one from DataRocket once again, so some people are still using the very old DataRocket command. So if you use this and then go to the Excel spreadsheet, you'll find it doesn't work. And that's the extent of the drawing commands. If there is anything that doesn't work on this, or you think this could be a better way of doing it, by all means please let me know. If something needs to be drawn and you can't find out how to do it, I will certainly soon invent an item that does. And there's lots of other things which we have in the system, and all you have to do is ask and we can soon tweak something and make it happen.